The more I expect, the more unhappy I am going to be. The more I accept, the more serene I am. Our challenges don't define us, our actions do. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, it means understanding that something is what it is and that there's got to be a way through it. I remember my son wanted to go to bed with his cowboy boots on, and we had this fight for like an hour. Then I realized that the only good reason I had for him not to do it is because I didn't want him to. There was really no other reason. And finally I said, okay, fine. It was a great victory for me, because I realized it doesn't really matter. One's dignity may be assaulted, vandalized and cruelly mocked, but cannot be taken away unless it is surrendered. I am careful not to confuse excellence with perfection. Excellence I can reach for, perfection is God's business. When something enters your life that is so big and so non-negotiable as catastrophic illness, you either go in denial for a while or ultimately you accept it and you make space for it. And in making space for it, you illuminate a lot of things that you normally don't have room for. You simply just look at the world differently. If you have 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow, you're pissing all over today. If you fixate on the worst case scenario and it actually happens, you've lived it twice. A creative mess is better than idle tidiness. I like to encourage people to realize that any action is a good action if it's proactive and there is positive intent behind it. Don't spend a lot of time imagining the worst case scenario. It rarely goes down as you imagine it will, and if by some fluke it does, you will have lived it twice. Look at the choices you have, not the choices that have been taken away from you. In them, there are whole worlds of strength and new ways to look at things. People want leadership, Mr. President, and in the absence of genuine leadership, they'll listen to anyone who steps up to the microphone. They want leadership. They're so thirsty for it they'll crawl through the desert toward a mirage, and when they discover there's no water, they'll drink the sand. If you want to be an agent of change, it starts with you and what you're made of. I see possibilities in everything. For everything that's taken away, something of greater value has been given. There are no moments you have frozen in amber. It's moving, it's changing, so appreciate what's good about right now and be ready for what's next.